got a feels that's a season. I wanna slide this shit out your nappy. Bitch, get over here now. I got a hex stars now. We gon' punch that bitch in it good right now. Bitch, get over here on now. Somebody heaven. I not the punch in the good bitch. She got a diva, did a cool tonight. She got a diva, diva. She got a diva, diva. She got a diva. I got a feels that's a season. I'm gonna slam this shit out of shit now, man. Bitch, get over here now. I got a hex stars now. Oh, you don't punch that bitch in it good right now. Bitch, get over here on now. Somebody heaven. I'm not the punch in the good bitch. It's concentrating together. She got a diva in a crew tonight. She got a diva in a prime bar. I'm about a diva in a crew tonight. She got a diva in a prime bar.
Could you make me an espresso? Okay, we're gonna open it up. Let's keep it on topic. 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. Icons are idolatry. J, but J, can I talk? But it was an ex-cathedra. If God is real, why does he allow evil? Why do you pray to dead people? Traditions of men, it's a no-brainer. You're such a tyrannical reigner. Is this your first time on the interwebs? Jamie! I need to change your tune. Can't take it, these low-tier slow boys. Is this your first time on the interwebs? Jamie! I need to change your tune. Was that an uncreated foot fart? Unmute, dude. Stop repeating my name, dude. You goobers call in, or I'll boot you. Where did we get the Bible from? Have you read the canons of Franzia? What are you, Catholic? Are you Protestant? I'm not trying to be mean, but do you have an actual argument? There is only one church. You are in a cult. You're a goblin, a demon, a boomer tard. Quick question. Do we have any Diddy back venerators in the chat? Oh! Is this your first time on the interwebs? Jamie! I need a ginger chew.
Did you ever have Victory Outreach experience when you were on the West Coast?
What is that?
It's basically like Cholo Church.
Oh, really? Cholo Church. Hey, dude, this is straight up, bro. Cholo Church. Look, homie, you could go anywhere, bro. So, Cholo Church. I'd be going here instead of freaking Ruslan's church or whatever, dude. Cholo Church. Dude, this church is about 50 times less gay than freaking Ruslan's, bro. Cholo Church. Dude, how come I didn't even know about freaking Cholo Church? JB, dude, how come he ain't at Cholo Church, bro? Cholo Church. He's over here trying to get inside of the freaking Ruslan's butt buddy church. Cholo Church. Dude, he need to go to Cholo Church, bro.
Cholo Church.
I'm gonna grab me a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy and put him on the white side of town, you know? And if that ain't good enough, I'm gonna grab me a little ching-chang, ping-pong playing China boy and put him on the Asian side of town.
Whoa, dude. Damn, bro. They based as hell over at Cholo Church. They making freaking white dude jokes, making Chinese jokes, bro. They don't even give a How do all of the Cholo women, like, they were fat before everybody was fat, dude. It's like Cholo women were just always like a circle, dude. Like they was born coming out like a circle, bro. Like they didn't even go through like a transformation where they were like high when they were young or whatever. Like they was just straight a circle the whole time, bro. The spheres, bro. That's the orbs that Sam Shamoon was talking about. And how could you refute me or whatever? Cholo church.
I need 7 figures. I need 7 figures. I need 7 figures.
Y'all ready for this? It's almost that time. Last song.
The engine is starting up.
Moment, space, lives.
Let's create lives.
Moment, space, lives. God the Father has a body. It's a very tone body.
He looks good. He looks good.
Moment, space, lives. Moment, space, lives. Magic underwear fitting tight. Magic underwear is feeling right. Moment, space, wise. Moment, space, wise. Lord Cola.
I would like to have intimacies with you.
On the planet of Naboo. Space lives.
Let's create
Moment, space lives. God the Father has a body. It's a very tone body.
He looks good. He looks good. He looks good. He looks good. Good, 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 good. Space. Sex. Space. Sex.
Space. Moment, space lives. Moment, space lives. Oh yeah! Space error.
Y'all ready for this? The piano interlude signifies the end and the beginning of your destruction. We will go live in just 1 second with calls.
Moment, space lives. Moment, space lives.
Let's create
You gotta admit, I'm not a huge fan of the AI songs, but that one's kind of good. I have 3 permitted AI songs. That's it. We only allow the couple that support what we do over here. Stefan. What's up, Stefan Harris? What's on your mind, son? I'm you, dude. Steven, I'm you, dude. Steven, unmute.
Yes.
Yes. He figured it out. What's on your mind, dog?
All right, Jay. Before 1970, you couldn't even join the church being divorced and remarried while your first spouse was still living. Before the 1970s,
before the sexual revolution came in, this idea of joining the Orthodox Church, where they, the Russians can get divorced and remarried 3 times, and I know that goes back thousands of years. That is nonsense. It's right there in Romans chapter 7. If your husband's still alive and she gets remarried, she shall be called an adulteress. That is sealed. Billions of Bibles.
Sealed.
And nobody can get around that.
Billions of Bibles sealed it.
It's in the Bible. It's in there.
But was it in billions
of
it was in
issue I have with you, J. Dyer.
it was in billions of them? Was it in a billion Bibles, baby?
Yeah, the sexual revolution changed the churches.
Changed them.
And Jay, did you
Billions.
cover what the Wall Street did
Wall
to
Street.
pay grants, to pay corporate grants to the church denominations? Did you cover that inside the sexual revolution? Hey, that doctrine is devastating, but it's true.
Damn, son. It's over, dude. Orthodoxy's ended, son. How did you calculate the billions of Bibles? How did you calculate it?
Bibles have been sold. You know that.
A billion?
You know that.
It was sealed in a billion Bibles. Did you know that modern calculators after 1970 were the first calculators that could even calculate a billion? So that's not even true because you couldn't even calculate it. Exactly. Nothing to say about calculators.
Let's go over your doctrine, Jay.
Let's go over my doctrine. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the issue.
Are you a Roman Catholic?
No.
No.
I'm not a Roman
Wait a minute.
Catholic.
I'm not a wait. So you're a Protestant. You understand the entire Protestant world believes in divorce. So how's that going to work out?
That's because of what was taught after the sexual revolution. Let's take the Church of God in Christ as an example. In 1973, that's when the Church of God in Christ.
So this critique.
That is when they allowed.
Who cares about the?
church.
Nobody cares about some random black denomination. So what? So what does this have to do with all the Protestants?
Doesn't matter.
Why are you interrupting me when I'm making a point? Shut up. I'm making a point. So this critique would apply to your own position, you goober. So all of Protestantism is apostate too, right?
Most of it. All of it. Most of all.
Okay, so you're the last true believer. Good job, dude. We will join Stephen's sect. You made it. You are the true keeper of the true flame. These are the idiots that call in here. Tactical, what's up? Tactical, what's up?
I'm curious if this guy's ever heard of Hebrews 13:18. The church has the authority to bind and loose.
He doesn't care.
Sins.
I wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I have a petition for the Emperor of Byzantium.
What's up, dog?
Important.
Yo.
So you once called me gay. Now listen. First, I need clarification. Was it homo-romantically gay or homo-erotically gay? Because there's a key distinction there.
I didn't put the pee-pee in the poo-poo, so there was no touching, so it doesn't count. It's all good.
Okay. I just need it to be known because there's so many people bullying me now. They're like, the tactical orthobro, he's gay. Jay said it, the Emperor of Byzantium. There's no recovering from that.
Well, the simple recovery is to stop being gay and become straight. And you can do that. You can do that by heading over to chalk.com and use the promo code J60 to get 60% off all those great Chalk masculinity products. See, this goofy man got me all flustered. I can't even think. He calculated billions of Bibles have sealed it.
Hey, yo, Jay, do you know that before 1970 in the sexual revolution, there was no hats in the Orthodox Church?
Correct.
It's in the Bible right there.
Right, and it was sealed. It was signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. What song is that? Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Coco. What's up, Coco Chanel? How you doing, girl? Coco Chanel, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, Jay? Hey, I don't understand that furry dude that was apparently converting back to Catholicism after St. Timothy to Studite.
or Theodore the Studite. I just finished the Unholy Icons last week. I don't understand how you could read something like that and then be convinced to go back to the Catholic Church.
He didn't go back. He never was Catholic. So he was a couple of years ago, he was Muslim, and then he became Orthodox, and then he became true Orthodox, and then he became Orthodox again, and then he became Roman Catholic within a span of like 2 years. So this is, you guys are making the mistake of thinking that this has anything to do with theology. They're just butt buddies. I'm serious. Like, they're literally furry butt buddies. Has nothing to, they're just, I think they're just butt buddy grooming. That's all they're doing is hooking up. So there's nothing to do with theology. Leon, what's up? By the way, again, we've said for many years that when you come into Orthodoxy, when you immediately start trying to be an apologist, as all these people are making the huge mistake, especially when you're really young and you don't know the theology, you haven't been formed yet. This is always, there's a wave every 10 years. Well, within 10 years, for example, I've seen 3 waves of this. So the first converts of 2016, 2017, there was a wave of converts, and then a handful of people think they're apologists, and then they're confronted with material and information and arguments that they'd never heard, and so they get easily swayed. Oh, actually, I didn't know about these papal honorifics, and so I guess that proves Vatican I. They don't even know the Roman Catholic positions, so they get swayed into these positions very easily because they're actually just unstable people. That's why you don't make a new convert immediately a teacher, as Paul says. But every one of these people deemed themselves public apologists and teachers without any clear episcopal approval. They all claim to have had it, but you see the fruits of it. They're all a bunch of Latinizers, and what have we said all this time? Latinizing leads you to Roman Catholicism, so go and have fun, wheat from chaff, enjoy your butt buddy cult. So that's exactly what we said would happen. I've seen it since 2016. Back in 2016, it was Gideon Laser. Okay, 2018, it was Jonathan, the mod of Politics and Religion Discord. 2020, 19, 20, it was Lofton. Same thing. And now all of these people have become and are becoming irrelevant. So they're just moving into their own irrelevance. What's up, Leon? And spiritual delusion with Roman Catholicism. What's up, Leon?
Hey, what's going on? So I have a question. Are we allowed to ask questions here? It's not just debating.
I don't care. Yeah, do whatever you want.
Awesome. Then I have a question. So I'm really, really interested in Orthodoxy. I'm like heavily considering converting. However, there were still some things I want to iron out, things I want to still research.
Sure.
And one of them has to do with divorce. A lot of times when I see videos online talking about Orthodox viewpoints of divorce, they usually just talk about, well, you can get divorced, and they just say, yeah, you can get 3 or 2 divorces.
Why we made a whole documentary on this. There's a whole documentary. It's such a stupid gotcha. This is like the last resort that they have. That's why we made an entire documentary over here at Ubi Petrus channel, Divorce and Remarriage in the Church Fathers. So you're going to find out that, by the way, the Roman Catholic Church's position is absolutely hypocritical anyway, because they'll grant annulments to anybody. So
yeah, I'm not a very big fan of the annulments. I find them to be very overly complicated and very illogical in many areas. My main specification regarding divorce, or at least the main question that I have is, and I know Catholics have their own thing with annulments on this, but when Jesus says that basically sexual immorality is the only valid grounds for divorce, and the way he says that, when an Orthodox gets divorced, is it acknowledged that they commit the grave sin? Unlike in Catholicism, where there's like, well, no, actually, you see, it never really was valid to begin with. Is there an acknowledgement that, let's just say, it was for something else?
Orthodox canon law, we have economia, so we apply the principles of economia to all of these situations, and that's why it's not just sexual immorality. For example, let's say a wife was married to a husband who repeatedly SA'd the children. Well, I guess she has to remain married to him, because if no, there's other grounds other than just immorality or sexual immorality. What if he's consistently beating her? What if he's like, those are other potential grounds. And so we apply the principle of economia that if, something like sexual immorality is a basis, then it's likely plausible that other things could be the basis as well. So we don't have this legalistic reading of Jesus that the only means or the only grounds would be just literally some form of sexual immorality, because you can think of all kinds of other situations where, I mean, what if he's beating the children to the point of death? Is that not also a grounds? What if he's, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different heinous types of sins that you could come up with that would not be necessarily the fault of one party or the other party. You know, what if my wife becomes some sort of bizarre ritual, like she becomes a Satanist? Well, I guess I have to remain married to her, even though she's a Satanist. No, there's all kinds of grounds for separation. And the reasoning of the Orthodox Church is it's worse off to expect the person to live in perfect chastity when they were cheated on or were left for no reason at all. If they were blameless in the situation, it's worse off for them to fornicate, which is probably what's going to happen, than for them to at least find another partner. So the reasoning behind all this is very practical, and it's all super hypocritical anyway, because the Roman Catholic Church is literally supporting that you can commune after Amoris Laetitia. They're literally saying that you can commune divorced and remarried and other people now. They'll even commune gay people. I don't give a shit. And they're now having the gay couples blessings, right? So not a marriage, but a sacramental, quasi-sacramental blessing. So look at the hypocrisy of this group. All of this moral high horse about, oh, you have divorce and remarriage. And they're over here literally having divorced and remarried people take communion now after Francis's Amoris Laetitia encyclical, and they're having Skittles blessings, and they commune open Skittles people and open pro-abortion politicians. So don't get on your high horse with us when what you do is 10 times worse, you Roman Catholics. Cleve, what's up, man?
Yo.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Hey, man, yeah, I wanted to pop up and just chime in on that, man. The annulment situation is absolutely insane. I mean,
Right.
you go and look at their canon law; they can get annulments for literally anything.
Anything,
Like,
yeah.
canon 1095 says basically, like, if they were mistaken about their social status of the spouse, like they could be married for like 15 years.
Right.
Like, oh, I thought this chick was more famous than she was. Well, I guess I was never married all those 15 years. And what happens to our kids? They're
Yeah, isn't that
technically
crazy?
Illegitimate. It's insane.
The other thing they can do too is they could always just say, oh, I didn't actually have the full use of my reasoning. So, I was, at the time of when I was proposed to and agreed, I was under the influence of, SSRIs. And so it doesn't count.
Right.
I mean, there's all kinds of because this is called casuistry, right? In Roman Catholic canon law, they've had this history and in their tradition because of the legalism of all of these legal loopholes. But just like the Pharisees, they uphold the letter of the law, the legality of it, to try to have a moral one-up and to trump one-up and morally piety signal over everybody. But in reality, the situation on the ground is it's everybody knows, the entire world even makes the joke that annulment is Catholic divorce.
Yeah, exactly. It's complete hypocrisy for them to be trying to raise this kind of objection, but they do it all the time. They just don't understand. Well, hey, we actually acknowledge what's actually going on. We say, yeah, it's a sin. We're going to penance this. We're going to do a penance for it. You're going to have to abstain from the Eucharist, but it's not the unforgivable sin. You know what I mean? They try to present like it never happened in the Roman Catholic Church. But I did want to chime in on that PSA and the Latinizer thing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
This is something that we've been calling out for a little while now, even
Right.
with Father Stephen DeYoung on the show and things like this. We saw this with Joshua Shuping. That was his big.
Another one.
Grievance.
Right.
He was saying, "Oh, I'm going to be this PSA champion. Teach that the Orthodox Church actually teaches penal substitutionary atonement." But he went around to all the priests, all the bishops. They all told him, "No, we don't do this." And when I was a Protestant, he came on my show, and this was what he said in the interview with me. He basically said, "Oh, this is one of the reasons I apostatized, was because I wanted to push PSA, and the Orthodox Church doesn't teach it." Which makes sense if you're going to go into the church and say, and let's imagine you're like a new catechumen or something. You're one of these Latinized dudes, and you're looking around. And you're like, oh, my priest rejects the gospel. Oh, all these people around me, they reject the gospel. I am the modern Athanasius. It's just prelest, dude.
It is, and it reminds me of the tendency that we've seen, or that I've seen, again, going back to, if you go back to 2016, 2017, we had all the exact same patterns with these people. The way that I know and can predict how these people are going to act is because interacting with him for a significant amount of time, 2 to 3 years, you begin to see the patterns that you noticed with the people 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, when Gideon Laser converted, he was, super hardcore trad cat, or excuse me, super hardcore Orthodox. And then he comes across, because he didn't focus on getting the Orthodox phronema, he comes across all these papal quote mines without the proper context, and then suddenly leaves because he decides, I have to defend Charlemagne as a saint. I have to defend the Filioque, all this kind of nonsense, which nobody actually called you to defend these things anyway. So I don't know why you felt like you had some duty to defend this stuff. But this is what happens when you immediately decide you're an apologist, and you don't realize that a lot of these issues will get really complex. And when they get complex, you actually need time to read and to study it. But it's not just intellectual, it's also, you got to be formed. You have to be kind of in the pattern of how to live and think as Orthodox. And it takes a long time to get a lot of the Latin baggage out of your head. It took me 10 years to get a lot of that out of my head. So, at that time we had Gideon Laser, and Cleve is right when it comes to the people that there's a handful that will go to Protestantism. So when there was a guy 10 years ago, his name's Andrew Hera, he still makes anti-Orthodox videos. He used to interact with me back in the day before I became Orthodox, and I think he became Orthodox, or he went through the catechumen, I don't remember. But for him, what was it? PSA. He said, I'm going to make this fit into this scheme. And then when they realized that no bishops and priests who have any real authority, I mean, there might be some random priests here or there, but no clerics or authorities in the Orthodox Church will accept PSA. They realize that, and then they give up their quest to make the Orthodox Church a Latinizing institution. And they end up going usually Roman Catholic, I think, because when they become Orthodox, they at least see enough of, the church fathers are obviously not Protestant. So the tendency of those people who are hardcore Latinizing PSA, original sin, original guilt proponents, they're very wedded to Augustine. The tendency is to go Roman Catholic, although every now and then you'll have a guy who becomes a Protestant. In the case of Andrew Hera, he went Anglican. And in the case of Shuping, I don't know what Shuping, what is Shuping? Is he
He's a Lutheran now. He went evangelical first and then became a Lutheran.
Oh, interesting. So, but the tendency is definitely Roman Catholic. And the other thing too, as I was mentioning, is it's a lot of really young dudes too. Like, so the Jonathan guy who back in 2017, 18, I think he might have even been a mod for a little while on our server, our Discord server. He went from something Protestant or something to Orthodox. And then 6 months later, he went to Oriental Orthodox. And then 6 months later, he went to Roman Catholic, all within a span of like a year, which is kind of crazy. And it's the same situation with Ananda, who unfortunately, I raised warning signs about Ananda 2-3 years ago, because when he came into our Discord, he did the exact same pattern as all the other guys. Immediately debating with all of the mods who've been Orthodox for many years, immediately debating with everybody, including me, about what the essence synergy distinction is, how I'm wrong about this and that. I'm like, dude, you just literally just got here. Like, what? I've been reading about this for like 15 years, essence synergy stuff, right? I'm doing apologetics, debate stuff for 20 years. Like, you're not in the position yet. And what happened with Ananda was there was this temptation to proclaim that he was a translator. I have the DMs where he says to me, I'm actually translating for the Orthodox bishop here. There is no way in heck that the Orthodox bishop, wherever the heck he's at in England, was asking this goober 20-year-old or whatever he is to translate texts for him. And I'm like, what qualifications do you have? Do you have a degree in linguistics? No. And their translations were from AI. Okay, so this is lying. So basically he was lying, presenting himself as having this ecclesial authority to translate theological texts for his bishop. Total nonsense, total bullcrap. So I knew right away something's up, something's wrong with this dude, because he had just previously been a Shia Muslim for whatever. I don't know how long he was a Shia Muslim. And then he had the viral video at Speaker's Corner where he debated SNEAKO or whoever it was. And then he decides he's Orthodox, but the problem was all the red flags are there. It's the same red flags with Sig. Sig's the exact same way. Sig is literally out here in recorded conversations comparing the relationship of Mary and Joseph to homoerotic relationships, and that there's nothing inherently wrong with homoerotic relationships as long as you don't touch butts, etc. Just total nonsense. So all of these people are 100% subversives. We said the entire time they're subversives. They have their Latinizer discords, which literally funnel people into PSA, Protestant, and Roman Catholic versions of PSA. Whether it's the Eric Ibarra's new, you can be Roman Catholic in PSA. Like, there's a reason why it's all new converts and people that, as we warned, we told you guys that this would lead you to Rome and Protestantism. Lo and behold, here's Ananda converting. Now, I don't even think it's all the theology. I actually think these guys are literally just butt buddies. I mean, why are they all into furry shit if they weren't like just actually Skittles dudes? So that's really, I don't even think it's about theology. Do you want to say something, Cleve?
Oh no, dude! I was gonna agree with you. After he was defending the Miko being a furry thing, that kind of sealed the deal on that for me.
And wasn't he a godfather to Miko, supposedly?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure about
people
that,
were saying that he was going to be Miko's quote godfather when he converted, which is also very sus. But these are, dude, this is so silly. Nobody should be listening to people who are 22, 16, 17 about any of this stuff.
Well, the one thing that I wanted to say is you'll see how all these subversive types, they'll team up with the heterodox quite often.
Oh, they love teaming up with Roman Catholics. Their whole Discord is literally, oh, we just want to have a Discord that's like everybody. Well, everybody who's pushing PSA and then pushing people out of the Orthodox Church. That's why these people are subversive, and you shouldn't listen to any of them.
Yep, and you got God Logic out here attacking the Ortho Bros, and then Sig's buddy with him in this recent show on Sean Kelly.
Yeah, so they will team up with anybody, including other anti-Orthodox people, just to push their pet gay heresy. They're all just butt buddies, man. That's all it is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You guys are thinking that's all you spurgs are thinking this about theology. It's not an accident they're defending homoerotic relationships and furries. They're gay. That's literally what's going on. They're actual Skittles butt buddies. That's why they're doing all this. And they're subversive. And they're just garbage people, and they lie anyway. Edgar, what's up? I mean, I've got Ananda lying. He literally lies in his text messages, claiming to be a bishop-approved translator of theological texts. He doesn't have any degree in linguistics, or he doesn't know languages. How are you going to be a translator? You don't know languages. They're just using AI and lying. What's up, man? Edgar, I'm mute. Yeah, what's up? Dude, can't even hear you, man. Noose Nexus, what's up? The whole idea that you should listen to 16-year-old furries on the internet for your theology. I mean, dude, that's a you problem. That's not a we problem. Noose, what's up?
Yo, Jay. Thanks for having me. I made a few clips of God Logic speaking about him, and of your stream you did the other day. And everyone thinks that I'm you, which is pretty hilarious. And one guy said, oh, but just debate God Logic then because you're scared or something. So it's either you're scared or you just want to get clicks.
No, God Logic has declined. Like he's declined 3 times to debate.
Oh, well, there we go. And then I said, like, just funnily, like, I would love to ask him why he sends Muslims to synagogues. And the guy answered, what's wrong with that? He said that.
Yeah, that's the people don't know anything.
Word of Christ.
Yeah, these people don't know anything. When I said underneath my post as to what the real problem, I just did a post today listing the specific problems with God Logic. And a lot of these goober evangelicals underneath it are like, what's wrong with circumcising people? I'm like, you don't know what the first heresy in the church was? Judaizing? You never heard of that? Like, this is like, it feels like we're going back in time to the Bryson Gray debate, because after the Bryson Gray debate, there was these just hundreds and thousands of evangelicals literally repeating all the same stuff that I'm hearing the God Logic audience repeat. And by the way, notice this is the God Logic. They whine about, you don't have the fruits of the Spirit. You don't have the fruits of the Spirit. Well, here's the God Logic audience. The God Logic audience is literally calling me dog shit today. There's the fruits of the Spirit right there. They're calling me other words that I'm not going to repeat on X. I mean on YouTube. But so notice the fruits of the Spirit doesn't apply when they want to attack us. Again, yes, this is God Logic. I heard people in the comments, because this is embarrassing, they're like, I don't actually believe that's God Logic. It is. It's his dad's church. Watch. This is on one of God Logic's channels. It's on his other small channel where he also promotes his dad's fake bishop church. So what are you even talking about?
It's same for the Lutheran, by the way, the debate that you just had.
Well, by the way, that debate shows you where PSA takes you.
Yeah, exactly. But the worst part is that none of them actually, they're all asking why you're not debating that guy. And I'm like, did you watch the video? And none of them did. And they're just, they're just commenting. That's all they're doing. They don't even want to listen to.
Well,
the
I don't,
reasons
and
or
then the
anything
people,
except
yeah,
for God logic.
and the people underneath God Logic's post coming at me don't even know why Judaizing is a heresy or why it's a problem. They literally defend circumcising people. I'm like,
yeah, it's insane.
Did you guys literally, did you, yeah, thank you. Did you guys just like convert yesterday? I think so. I think a lot of these people are like, do you guys remember back to the Christian Prince stuff? So remember when we had this fallout with Christian Prince, over him saying, I don't care who Athanasius is. I don't even know what he taught. He doesn't even know who Athanasius is. And you're a Christian apologist. And we just saw God Logic doesn't know what the Nicene Creed is. Now, all of his followers underneath my post said, you don't have to know it to be saved. Nobody was saying that. If you want to be a public apologist and you don't know the basic Christian creed, that's insane. That's preposterous. That shows that you're not fit. You're not in a position to do this. You don't even have the requisite knowledge, much less the right church. So again, we'll rehearse the points where we said. Now, Ridvan had to throw in his 2 shekels because he's a total shill, fake, phony. If you fight Islam, all the enemies of the West come to defend and distract you, talking about me, because they work with Islam. Of course, yes. Anybody criticizing evangelical Zionism works with Islam, even though I just debated 2 Muslims. I'm debating Junior tonight, but none of that matters because you're aiding Islam. Now, what's the actual rabbinic Zionist teaching? Oh, the West is Edom and it must be destroyed. In fact, Bibi just said it again recently. He said the West is Edom and we will not lose again like we did in 70 AD. Are you not aware of that, Ridvan, as you defend your idiotic Zionist state? But it's worse than that because it's not just political whatever. It's God Logic is promoting messianic synagogues. And Cleve, I wanted to ask you, because I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but when somebody asked God Logic, who is the church, the new Israel? How did he phrase it? He had this weird reply. I forget how he phrased it.
He said, the church is a church and Israel is Israel. That's what he said.
In other words, no, the church is not the new Israel, even though Paul says in Galatians 6:16 that it is. And Jesus says in Matthew 21:43, the kingdom of God will be taken from you and given to the Gentiles. So, in that way, I can say, no, he's actually openly, consistently promoting Christian Zionism and Messianic synagogues, because again, as we've shown and pointed out 1,000 times, what good is it to send Muslims to a place where they teach Judaizing and teach people to get circumcised? And this is the sect where young Don got circumcised. He said it on a video on Derek Mythvision's podcast. God Logic still promotes his fake bishop dad, who is a TBN, literal TBN prosperity grift preacher who does deliverance, Pentecostal screaming and yapping and slapping and punching people stuff. God Logic claims he never pushes any specific church, but he actually pushes messianic synagogues, which is a lie. You can't push people to those groups and then say, well, I don't push people to any specific group. I don't take any specific stance. Well, if you say that I'm against all exclusivist claims, that's a specific stance. So in other words, you are explicitly ecumenist. God Logic, as an apologist, doesn't know the Nicene Creed. As we saw in that recent clip when somebody asked him, he doesn't know why there's 2 creeds, and he doesn't even know why it would matter or why the Filioque even matters. He only knows anti-Islamianity. And by the way, you might say, oh, but he debated a Mormon. Yeah, but it was the same debate they would have with a Muslim, just on, is the Trinity, 3 in 1? Is there a unity amongst the Godhead, et cetera, the deity of Christ? So it's still basically a variant of the Muslim debate. That doesn't mean he actually knows anything else about Christianity, even if he basically just debates Unitarians or Mormons. So 90% of the debates are just anti-Islamianity. God Logic took all that theology from Dr. Bo Branson, myself, and Sam Shamoon, and Fearless Truth Nick. So none of that is information that he garnered through his own studies. It's all just what he learned from other people. And according to Sam Shamoon, he reads a lot of Sam's articles and then just asks Sam for help, even still. So he's not doing his own homework. He's just relying on other people. And I'm trying to tell you that you can't do this type of work without having a very consistent, very long term pattern of doing the homework and doing the reading. There's no other way to actually know this material and defend the material. And you can't do it through memes and chat GPT and this kind of YouTube videos. This is not possible. So you can't take the triad, the monarchical Trinitarian view, outside of essence energy, outside of no filioque, outside of the Christology that we have, and outside of our sacramentology. You can't take it outside of that. It doesn't make sense without the rest of the attendant dogmas that go with it. But that's exactly what God logic does. There are no churchless apologists, and you cannot name a single churchless apologist who isn't a heretic in the first millennium of Christianity. And then the most dangerous and devastating of all these, and they all kind of go together, is the whole model is actually an online e-grift based on just opposing Muslims and never calling out or opposing, say, Christian Zionism or Messianic Judaizing heresies or calling out the Talmud. Of course, the Talmud itself is 10 times worse than what's in the Quran, although the Quran is itself based on Talmudic legends. What's in the Talmud is, of course, 10 times worse than what's in the Quran itself. But they don't ever talk about the problem of Christian Zionism, the heresy of Christian Zionism, because a large portion of that audience are just low IQ, boomer slop Christian Ziogelicals and people who just converted out of Islam who don't know anything. Exactly the same as the Christian Prince audience. So this is a repeat of the Christian Prince drama from 4 years ago or 3 years ago. And so thus to them, there is no one true church because it would immediately damage the entire brand of the vast evangelical slop convert audience that they've made. So you see how they can't go in that direction. They have to say it has to be ecumenist. They have to not affirm the 4 marks of the church, one holy, Catholic, and apostolic in the Nicene Creed. And God Logic didn't even know what that was when the guy asked him about the Nicene Creed. So that's the problem. And it doesn't matter to me how many evangelicals call me names. This is the same critique of all of these people in this group, whether it's David Wood or whether it's IP or whether it's phony baloney Ridvan. And I still have the same critiques of Sam Shamoon. So I'm not being unfair. I appreciate and have accepted Sam Shamoon's personal apologies about the personal issues. And Sam said, can you list for me the specific things that you want me to look at about Vatican I and the Roman Catholic position? So I'm going to send Sam Shamoon a list, and I'm going to operate in good faith that he genuinely is going to look into those recommended videos and books. And guess what? If God Logic or David Wood or IP, if any of those people, I don't trust Ridvan at all, but if any of these other people did the exact same thing, we could move back to being on friendly terms. If there's an openness to hear, hey, why do you think it's a problem that we're doing churchless apologetics? Hey, why do you think that it's a problem to push? I mean, to me, it's weird to even ask this question, but why do you think I'm wrong for pushing people to Judaizing synagogues? Why do you think Christian Zionism is wrong? If they want to move back and go back to the friendly, open dialogue portion of this, we can. But if they're going to continue to come out Orthodox and try to sway people to not become Orthodox, which is what began all this nonsense, it's the same stuff Ruslan did. Ruslan did the exact same thing. And then try to be all snaky Weasley about it. Like, oh, no, bro, that's not what I was doing. It ain't my fault. It's my people did it. Just not taking responsibility. Then we can do that. But no, I'm not gonna let up or stop because it's principled for everybody. You understand? We have the exact same principle positions that have not changed basically in the last decade. The same problems and critiques that we have right here, it's going to be the same problems and critiques that we have of the Lutheran guys, right? In principle, right? No PSA, can't be evangelical Orthodox, doesn't exist. None of this. So people are mad because we're not doing the Trent Horn, Gavin Ortland move of being like, why don't we all just pretend that we're on the same page and be friends? Meanwhile, they're being snakes behind the scenes. That's what's so frustrating is that you guys get the public appearance of this fake niceness. And in the background, all these people are snakes, dude. But guess what? You might not like me, but I'm the same behind the scenes as I am up front. You get the same dude, the same mean dude. It's not mean, though, to defend orthodoxy and to prevent people from pushing stupid-ass heresies. To push people into Messianic synagogues where they get circumcised is exactly what happened. How can you guys not see this? How do you not have any discernment? This is why young Don ended up an atheist, according to himself. God Logic and these goobers sent him to this dumbass cholo rabbi's church, fake church, where they preach literal Judaizing, where Ruslan preaches. These are part of a evangelical pro-Zio network of grifters. 100%. Same with Ridvan. Oh, Ridvan is open about it. What are you even talking about? They go and kiss the wall, you idiots. Sky Daddy, what's up? By the way, where's God? If God Logic is principled, how come he's not calling out the evangelical Zio slop from David Wood or from AP? You understand? We have a consistent principled position, even if you disagree with it. Well, where is he calling that out? Sky Daddy, unmute.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I watched that debate you did recently with the Lutheran on Modern Day Debate.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to note, you did use the word butt buddy,
mm-hmm.
and I wanted to just call that out because I know that you don't have the fruits of the Spirit because you said the word butt buddy.
Right. But so I'm curious, when God Logic's fan base calls me dog shit, is that the fruits of the Spirit?
It's irrelevant. Let's go back to the butt buddy thing.
You're joking though, right? You're not being serious.
No, I'm serious. I'm joking, man.
Okay, I thought so.
I just wanted to add that.
That's my new favorite. It's a funny term from the 90s. I love bringing back 90s slang.
But it's funny because those guys like can't take a joke, like a kind of a man-to-man joke that.
No, none of them can. Nobody in the apologetic sphere for the last decade, except for Tim Gordon, has been able to take a man-to-man type of joke.
They have to be performative and be like, "Oh, look at this, and no fruits of the Spirit."
Look at his non-Christian conduct. Now, when I debated the Lutheran guy, you notice Mahler has 5 or 6 times called for the exterminating and killing of Orthodox people, and then he has the gall to say that
big deal.
He has the gall to say that I don't have Christian conduct because I said butt buddy.
Yeah, you said the word butt buddy, so that's worse. I had some serious questions for later, maybe, but they're more like kind of theological stuff. But I'll step out of here for a minute.
Sure, yeah. Well, come back up if you want to. All right. Does anybody disagree? Raise your hand if you're in the chat, and I'll bring you up first of the line. We got a lot of people in the chat. We got almost 20 people. Who disagrees, and I'll bring you up. My argument today is that we're all in a cult. And unfortunately, it turns out SNEAKO and God Logic are actually in the same cult. What? How is that possible? Are you just being mean? How is that possible? Because evangelical Zio slop is the same cult as Islam because they're both essentially a Talmudic-based religion. That's exactly what I was saying a minute ago. Who's up? Raise your hand. Andy, what's up? He disagrees. I don't know when the 1 versus 5 is going up. It should be coming up pretty soon. I would say probably this week. They just told me like 2 weeks, and that was a week and a half ago. So, Andy, I'm mute. Y'all don't know how to work this. This is Neo Tone. What's up? You have to have your mic permissions on if you want to talk.
What's up? Can I speak?
Yep.
Nice. AJ, so I'm a Muslim, Shia. My question is, why do you conflate whole Islam with Salafism?
Why what?
Why do you conflate Islam with Salafism?
I don't do that. I know you're a Neoplatonist. I've debated and argued with Khalil Andani plenty of times.
But we all know Salafism is the same as evangelical Zionists. Look at Sheikh Uthman and all of these. We all know.
Yeah, I know they basically are pro-Israel. Sure. What about it?
Yeah, exactly. So what's your take on the sectarianism between the Muslims when the Salafis attack SNEAKO for having a conversation about uniting the Ummah? Sorry for my bad English.
I don't really. To me, it doesn't really matter. It'd be like when a Roman Catholic has a conversation trying to unite Orthodox and Protestants. I don't really care. What about it?
Okay, no, I wanted to know if you have been studying like Wahhabism and Salafism.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Yes, I mean I'm not an expert in Islam, but I'm very familiar with the difference between Shia and the Sunni, and I'm very familiar with the ways in which Wahhabism and Salafi, they want to go back to what they think is the first generation of the early righteous. I read Ibn Taymiyyah. I read like hundreds of pages of Ibn Taymiyyah before I did my first debate with Jake, the Muslim metaphysician. So
Nice.
yes, and I have had many conversations with Dr. Khalil Andani, who's probably your biggest apologist. So we were going to do a debate, and the debate was going to be Islamic dilemma, and then Dr. Khalil debated Sam Shamoon on Islamic dilemma, and he got demolished, so there was no point in having the same debate all over again. Boxman, what's up? But thank you for your call. Boxman, what's up?
Hey, I wanted to ask a question about the tiny hats. I didn't know if it was allowed today or what.
I mean, I'm on YouTube, so it depends on what the question is.
So I couldn't find your video, but I remember reading one where you were talking about how the Templars, like being monks and also warriors, it was like not allowed.
Yeah, the canons of Chalcedon. The canons of Chalcedon forbid clerics from having civil posts. It's an excommunicatable offense. In the Gregorian reforms in the 11th century, this is a new papal revolution.
Okay, and my next question was on the allegation of them worshiping Baphomet. What's your opinion? Do you think it's like Ein Sof or Adam Kadmon?
Well, I don't know because I don't have any opinion really because the Vatican in I want to say the 2000s or early 2010s issued an official apology to the Templars saying that they thought that was made up and exaggerated. But I have the Council of Vienne and I have the Roman Catholic, Ecumenical Council's documents, and within the minutes and sessions of the councils, they do affirm that the Templars were worshiping, the devil or a cat's head or some nonsense. I don't know what it was. But so basically that would mean, I guess, that Roman Catholics are admitting that their ecumenical councils got these things wrong.
That's weird. So the last thing is, what exactly do you believe that the wedge that the Little Hats used into the West to sort of create a Judaizing, or how exactly did they manage to get Kabbalism to somehow infiltrate Roman Catholics? And I'm not talking about like the like 1850s type of Rothschild stuff. I'm talking about...
No, you have to read, there's a whole book on this. Michael Hoffman's book, Occult Renaissance Church of Rome, is the origin of this. And it actually comes from Reuchlin and a bunch of these so-called Christian Kabbalists. So it's actually the papacy and the Renaissance is behind all that. And that's written by a papist. So you can go read Occult Renaissance Church of Rome by Hoffman. It's literally just about that. Who's next? Who disagrees? Go ahead, line, raise your hand. Appreciate that. Good questions, by the way. Good questions. In the chat, you raise your hand. I'll bring you up first if you disagree. Who disagrees? There's 20 people in line, literally. Who disagrees? Give me an emoji, dog. Emojis. Who disagrees? Step into the water, wade out a little bit deeper. JV, what's up? I'm going to turn into a Baptist deacon if you don't hurry up and come up to the front. What up, dog?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Why you run away from Orthodox?
I've explained it about 20 times.
Yeah, you said he doxed it. What was your proof of that?
The posted DMs where he said he was doxing people.
Okay, do you know when that post would happen? The first time?
I don't care whether he was doxed himself or whether he's doxing other Muslims. Doesn't matter to me if he's doxing people. I don't give a shit.
So you don't know the context he's saying. Like you just
If he's doxing people, I don't care.
He got doxed. This is before even.
So I don't care. I don't care if he's going to dox other people, then he's going to dox Christians, and then that makes me believe. Then that makes me. Then that makes me. Then that makes me believe Jesus and whatnot that he was involved in that.
Yeah, that's not even what we're talking about. What are you talking about?
He's in all those same circles, so why would I not think he's not involved in it?
Jesus and whatnot was not doxed while we're talking about.
No, I'm saying he's in those same circles, so it's a circle of people that dox people. So what are you talking about?
Even if you don't want to talk to him or not, he's going to show up in a SNEAKO debate. So whether you like it or not, he's going to show up.
Okay. Well, why? If I've debated,
you're going to debate.
Have I debated all of your top dudes?
Bro, it doesn't matter. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Why would I be scared of this retard if I debate? Why would I be scared of him if I debated all your top dudes?
What topic are you talking about? I don't know. I never.
I don't even. Yeah, so you don't know anything. Exactly. You don't know who I have and haven't debated because you're an idiot. Who's next? Who disagrees? You go to that line. Raise your hand. I've been here debating all the top Muslims for 8-10 years, almost a decade. Okay, I'm just gonna start saying basically a decade. Okay, and you can easily go access all of these debates on YouTube. I literally just debated 2 Muslims at DebateCon. Jake is your smartest debater as far as I can tell. So what are you talking about? I'm afraid to debate Muslims. After a decade of debating, you idiots. This is all they have, by the way, is you're afraid, you all run. They did the exact same thing when I did my first Muslim debate. You know what these guys do? When you debate their big guy 10 years ago, they say, oh, you debated Shabir Ali, but you didn't debate the real guy and you're scared of him. Okay, who's that? Azrar Rashid. Okay, so then I debate Azrar Rashid. Oh, you debated him, but you didn't debate the real Muslim apologist because you're scared of him. Okay, who's that? Daniel Hakikachu. Okay, so then I debate Daniel. Oh yeah, but you didn't really debate the real Muslim apologist because you're afraid. Okay, who's that? Jake the Muslim metaphysician, the new hottest guy on the scene. Okay, so then I debate Jake. Oh, but you didn't debate the real Muslim because you're afraid of Muslim Lantern. So I go on SNEAKO's channel to debate Muslim Lantern, and it goes bad for him. Oh, but you didn't debate the real Muslim. See, you see this process? They've been doing this for a decade. It's the same shit I've heard a million times over. It's so stupid too, by the way. The Aussie, what's up? The same reason I'm not going to interact with that dude is the same reason I'm not going to interact with Corey Mahler or Owen Benjamin. Like, I'm not bound to interact with a bunch of weirdo, psycho, cult fed people. Why would I? It's very easy to schedule a debate with me. I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of debates in the last 25 or 6 years. What's up, man? I'm mute. So you dumbass Muslim countries, you don't even have internet. The dial-up at your countries doesn't even work. Macy, what's up? Unmute. You are afraid. You are afraid. You are afraid. You are afraid, sir. You are a coward. You are a coward.
It's an honor.
What's up?
Hey, I actually started listening to you a year ago, and it just shifted my vision in orthodoxy. Actually, I'm not American, okay, but I have a question about this topic about SNEAKO.
Okay.
And I have other questions, but
okay, get the point. I want to get to other calls. Go ahead. What's the question?
All right. It's SNEAKO and God logic worship generic God, you think?
I don't think technically God logic, because he has the proposition that he's worshiping the monarchical Trinitarian God that we have. So I wouldn't say that they technically worship the same God, but I think that they're apart because God logic is still not orthodox. He's still outside the church, and so he's not properly worshiping. He has the right proposition about God, but he doesn't have the right worship of God, and that's why this is very different. This is the same problem that we had, which I think highlights your question, when we were debating the Roman Catholics a year ago, when they had their meltdown over whether Christians, Muslims, and Jews all worship the same, quote, God because it's, quote, monotheism. This highlights the problem, which is that worship is not an acceptance of mental propositions. Okay, worship is not just affirming propositions. Worship is a specific liturgical action that is culminating in and consummated in the Eucharist, the divine liturgy. So that's why it makes absolutely no sense to say, oh, we're all worshiping the same God. Okay, well, what is worship? Oh, it's just mental notional acceptance of, quote, there is one God. That's retarded. That's not what worship is. But people are sort of playing word games and assuming that worship is just accepting some list of propositions, which is very Talmudic, very Protestant, and very Muslim. Lucy, what's up? Now, let's look at the history of debates here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. When you go to my page, the first 4 debates that you see, except for the atheist debate, are Muslim debates going back 7, 8 years. Okay, because the Shabir Ali is right here. I did another one before that too. By the way, I did Paul Williams before that, and I did what's that guy's name? Nazam Ghafoor before that. So there's actually going back to the I think the Paul Williams debate is technically the first Muslim debate. Let's see. And of course, he's terrible. Look. By the way, he was the first time in a debate where somebody just shut down, like the Lutheran guy did. But instead of just freezing for 30, 40 seconds, he went to take what did he call it? A comfort break. he took a comfort break. And this was almost 8 years ago.
Be structured as
okay. So the first Muslim debate was 8-ish years ago, right here. Let's see the exact date, May 5th. So a little over 7 years. So we're almost 8 years, almost 8 years. And Paul Williams had to take a comfort break. So I've been here debating the Muslims for forever. And these people he just admitted, I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you. Oh, okay. So you don't know that I've been here for 7, 8 years debating Muslims. Exactly as we said. What's up, Lucy?
Hey, Jay, what's your take on the Odyssey?
I haven't had time to see it. I don't know. I'm participating in the boycott of it though. Let's see, Jay Dyer, Muslim Lantern. So remember, we already had this whole scenario with SNEAKO, right? We had the same scenario with SNEAKO. And by the way, I've never even seen Libyana. I've never seen Orthodox Muslim even debate. So I have no reason to know if he's good or bad. But I assume they're all bad because I've never heard a good Muslim apologist, except Jake's about the only one that's any good left. So you'll notice, and by the way, I'm pretty sure on Grumble they took this down because I was looking the other day because it was a huge Grumble debate. Me versus SNEAKO and Muslim Lantern. And I couldn't find it. So I don't know if I just didn't search it right or what. But it didn't look like it was there. Let's see if we can take a look here. So you can see here's me versus Hakikachu. It's on here. I debated him twice, or maybe 3 times, 2 or 3 times. I don't remember. But I'm not seeing my debate with Muslim Lantern. And you know why? Because when they did a poll, even with their giant Muslim audience, it was 60 to 70% in my favor. So let's try Jay Dyer SNEAKO. So these phony balonies actually took this debate down because you can't find it, or at least I couldn't find it. So where is it at? Why would you take it down? But thankfully, and this is why I would only do it if they would let me dual stream it, it still exists over here on my outlets and my clips channels. So you can watch it here. You can watch it on my channel. This did not go well for them.
be subject to the bishop.
So, and now let's flash back to then. Guess what the Muslims were saying at that time? You are scared of Muslim Lantern. Muslim Lantern is the great champion. He will decimate you. He is the heart. He has the heart of a lion. He is the lion of Islam. He will decimate. He will destroy. And this went terrible for him. So I've already been through this play. This doesn't work with me. Like, you guys already, you do this every year where there's the new guy who's like the great Muslim that will beat everybody, and then he's just as bad as the other ones. Howling, what's up? Howling. By the way, this shows how stupid God Logic's audience is, because I've been debating Muslims for years before God Logic was even on the internet. What are you talking about? Howling, what's up?
Yo, Jay, thanks for picking up my call. I just had a question for you. It's a little bit of a derailment of the topic, but I'm an inquirer, and I found you through Sam Hyde, just looking at the credits. And I've just been having some trouble rectifying some of the, well, I guess, piety in Orthodoxy. And I don't know. You're going to probably find a more coherent way.
Like rectifying it with, what do you mean? Like, what's the problem?
Well, I guess it's just more of a conflict in that there's the joke about the fruits of the spirit earlier. And, it's like, that is actually a legit thing in my head. I'm not talking to you about you necessarily at all. I just mean in general, where I come from in it, it's like I'm going into this space now with all of this serious, like, I guess you could say, like, pretty pent-up aggression towards things. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to let all of this just go to be, an Orthodox Christian?
What are you letting go, though? What do you mean? Against who or against what?
Hatred, like hatred towards people.
Who and what? Would it be specific? What are you talking about?
Oh man, I don't want to get you TOS, but I'm trying to figure out a tactful way to put that. But I guess it's degeneracy. That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah. And, there's just so many issues. There's so many problems. And to just say, all right, with humility, I'm just going to hand that over to God. It doesn't make that problem go away in my head. And this, it's anger. It's serious anger.
Well, I mean, that's part of what we all deal with. So maybe, look, every human being has certain vices that they struggle with, right? So maybe, anger is one of the vices that you're going to have to struggle with, right? So, but I mean, as you get older too, it's also a time thing. I don't know how old you are. You sound like a young guy. I mean, as you get older though, you're going to be able to handle a lot of that better, because you're going to realize, like, I'm limited in what I can change and what I can handle. So there's not really any point in sort of letting rage get the best of me, because as time passes, you're going to have a cooler head.
Okay.
I mean, if you're talking about like political type stuff, like
yeah. I mean, navigating this current climate with an Orthodox mindset, there is a little bit of it's a double-edged sword, because you have to swallow so much pride, and especially talking to people about things and not casting judgment on them. That's, I guess, where I'm coming from.
Well, okay, let's be clear here. So that depends on what that means, because, like, to say that we live in a disgusting, degenerate society and there's a bunch of disgusting retards out here running shit, that's not judging people. Or like, Jesus says not to make unfair judgments that are hypocritical, but he also says in John 7 that you must judge with righteous judgment. So there's a balance here between this fake evangelical attitude of like, you should never judge anyone. Well, when you're an evangelical criticizing me and saying that, you're actually making a judgment call on me. So it's literally impossible to not make judgment calls. So this is
that it's an innate thing, because I was raised evangelical.
Okay,
so
that's what it is.
Just programming. I mean, I'm
me too, dude. I was too. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been in the church in a long time, and this is something where it's it's painfully obvious that this is the path that I need to go down. But there is that battle inside of. I mean, I still get in arguments with people and I lash out at them, because they're so fucking retarded, and they're so.
Yeah, just remember you're dealing with children. Basically, everybody that you're dealing with is a bunch of children.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they're boomers or if they're 20, they're all children. So, yeah, you just think about I'm actually dealing with people who haven't matured in their like stages of development. So, but I know
You think I should wash my hands of them?
it really depends. Like I would say if you're dealing with people that you feel like have
Gay
no,
brother.
huh?
Gay brother. It's tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, family members are probably the toughest, but I would say I would say there are lines in the sand. I can't tell you the specifics of when you need to draw a line in the sand, but
Not
yes.
go to his wedding. I didn't go to his wedding. You know, my family thinks I'm hateful for that.
Well, I mean, was it a gay wedding?
Yeah, man.
No,
Yeah.
you're doing the right thing. Don't worry about it. Yeah. No, you're good. You did the right thing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. No, you did the right thing. And I appreciate your call. But no, there's definitely, what was Obama's red line or whatever? This is a red line. Okay. My wife, Michael, she's a beautiful man. Okay. But that's a red line. That's a red line right there. So, people in the chat are like, that's rich coming from you, Dyer. That's rich. So again, it's the right thing at the right time. So when you're dealing with like lunatics, people like that on the internet, no, there's nothing wrong with being sassy back. I got that sassy back. I'm bringing sassy back. I just heard a Justin Timberlake song this morning, and that's a fellow Memphis, Tennessee boy. Y'all know Timberlake is from Tennessee, right? And I realized Timberlake, his beatboxing interludes suck, dude. They're so annoying. And I'm not a huge Timberlake. I like one Justin Timberlake song ever. And then I'm like, half of the songs that come on the radio, he starts beatboxing. I'm like, he sucks, dude. He's not even a good wigger beatboxer. I got better wigger beatbox skills than him, even though he's also from Tennessee like me. But we all know who the authentic Tennessee wigger is. It ain't Justin Timberland. It's your boy right here. Anyways, I'm bringing sassy back. I'm bringing sassy back. It's like that other caller said. Okay, guys know that guys riff each other. Guys diss each other. Guys do mama jokes. This is what guys do. Okay, Tristan and I, we have a great relationship, right? Tristan's a funny dude. He's a smart dude. We've always busted on each other, and it's funny. Same with his sister, Chase Haggard. Same situation. We bust on each other. It's funny. We have a great time. We spent like 4 days hanging out with Chase. We had a great time. And listen, Chase is the one situation where I would say it's okay to go to a gay wedding. And that, you don't always have to do it. Sometimes you got to do it. But I went to Chase's gay wedding. So sometimes you do it. Sometimes. So look, I see I'm doing jokes right here. Now, why are Tim Gordon and I still friends? Oh, because Tim Gordon can take getting busted on, and we make jokes. See? But the rest of these people are so soft. I'm talking about the evangelical and apologist sphere. They can't even take a joke, dude. What's up, Tristana?
You already answered the question because I didn't go to his gay wedding, and but again, you said it's a personal thing. Like you didn't draw the line there, I drew the line. So
okay, so Tristan drew the line at Chase's gay wedding, but I made a judgment call. It's economia.
And I don't judge you for that.
Thank you.
Right? I know that it makes me morally superior to you, but I'm
right.
not going to judge you for being an inferior person. I know that you are inferior.
Okay.
I don't have to make it. I don't judge you for being that way, for being worse than me at everything.
This is the great thing about the Orthodox world is that we can just literally affirm what we actually ontologically are. And me being morally ontologically inferior to Tristan as a being is something that we can accept. But a lot of churches...
It doesn't mean that, yeah. And that doesn't mean that you're worth less before God. It's just everyone else you're worth less for.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody.
Exactly. Do you guys see the nuance here? Do you see the nuance? And the other religions can't admit this. Hey, Jamie! Jamie! Could you make me an espresso? Say what?
Order me an espresso as well.
Espresso? Okay, that's the black terminology. That's the black. This espresso is dedicated to God Logic. What's up, Igor? You are afraid to debate Muslim. Okay, yeah, 8 years of debating Muslims. You are afraid to debate Muslim. You must debate the hidden imam. Or you are afraid. Where is the hidden imam? He is hidden. You must find him. Or you are afraid. He's hidden out in the desert, the hidden imam. But if I don't find him, I'm a wuss. Igor, I'm mute. Igor, I already made a song about you, dude. Quasimodo. Dirt, what's up? Quasimodo. I don't need a ginger tea. I put a little honey in the coffee today because I thought a little bit of a sugar in the coffee would make me a little calmer. But you heard that first guy. He said there's billions of Bibles that have sealed the errors of orthodoxy. So, Dirt, I'm mute. He couldn't even tell me what calculator he used to calculate the billions. Did you know
He ain't even got a calculator.
He didn't got a calculator. By the way, he tried to argue that it was, from the 70s on. And I'm like, did you know calculators in the 70s couldn't calculate into the billions? You dummy. He didn't even know that.
Did you see there was some kind of van life type influencer that died? And everybody was saying, hey, Jay, people were saying there's some sort of a conspiracy. And they're like, oh, this guy was about to release all this knowledge and stuff. So I went over and I looked at his page, and he was buying Bibles from. He was like,
oh no, I did see that guy. I watched some of his videos, and I've seen him in my feed before. He's a total lunatic.
Yeah, it's really sad. You could see that, but all these I'm seeing like normal accounts that are like, oh, they must have took this guy out, and you go and look at it, and he's like, look, I got this Bible. It's the Freemason Bible. He's like, look what it says.
Yeah, so basically he's buying Bibles from the 1800s, and the Bibles have the older Palestine map, and he thinks that because the map in the Bible before 1917 and before 1948, because it says Palestine, he thought
just that. He's like, look at these hidden books. Bell the Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah.
What's up, Jay?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
You remember me?
No.
That Leafs fan.
No, sorry.
You really don't? 2 days ago?
I know that you're a very important person, and I should remember you because I'm sure you refuted me, and I'm just conveniently forgetting.
Dude, I'm in support of you, man.
Remind me what you're talking about. I don't know.
Leaving the IFB cult.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
I thought you were a hater, and I was like, I don't, because they always say shit like that, like, you remember me.
You remember me, like the way it came off. It's like, oh no.
Here we go.
I fucking love this guy, bro.
I'm your worst nightmare, Jay.
You conveniently don't remember me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So as you know, or I don't know if you remember, but 2 days ago I came to you asking for help on how to fight the IFB cult.
Yes, I remember.
I'm still sadly in. I've got a couple things written down. Is there anything else you could help me with? Also, can we start calling Captain Tazariak Captain Ballsacriak?
Well, I kind of like Captain Crack Rock because it just hit me, improv style in the middle of the debate. But you can call him whatever you want. I will not oppose you if you call him that.
Alrighty.
But
can you say it one time?
Well, what did you say, Captain Ballsack?
Captain Ballsacriak.
Ballsacriak. I like just Captain Ballsack. How's that?
All right. Yep, that's fine.
So you wanted, so basically what are some resources for refuting IFB? Well, first thing I would say is it would be good to get an idea of like the history of the canon of scripture. So if you want to go a little bit deeper than like videos, I think I would say get F.F. Bruce's book, The Canon of Scripture, because he's an evangelical conservative scholar. And the book is really good for tracing the history of the formation of the canon. And you'll notice that because the IFB cult literally believes, like the Muslims, that the King James Bible is an eternal book. So just like the Muslims have the eternal Quran doctrine, the Sunnis, these people also have an eternal KJV in heaven, right? So it would be very enlightening to understand the history of the formation of the biblical canon, and you get a good version of that, not from an Orthodox or a Catholic scholar, but from an evangelical scholar in F.F. Bruce's book. So that'd be a great one. Also, learning the basics of church history is going to be very useful. So I would say get Yaroslav Pelikan's History of the Christian Tradition, Volume 1 and 2. That's going to cover the first 1,000 years. You don't really have to get Volume 3. You can if you want. It's about the Reformation. But Volumes 1 and 2 cover the first 600 years, and then Volume 2 covers Byzantium in the East. So those two books will be a great start. I also picked up a book that I had many years ago and gave away. Pelikan has a book, Whose Bible, Which Tradition? That would be a shorter, quicker version of what's in the F.F. Bruce book. The F.F. Bruce book is actually better because it's written as an evangelical, kind of describing, the history of the biblical canon, whereas Pelikan's book is more so a history of textual traditions, but still very relevant to this tradition. And the reason I'm saying all that is, if the KJV is not an eternal, uncreated book, and there's an actual history to the formation of the canon, then the entire IFB cult falls apart. That's why that's really crucial. So I would just pick one issue like that, and then you can sort of undo the entire worldview from that angle. JR, what's up? Remind you guys too, I got a couple new choice items, and this will be relevant for the Trent Horn debates. I'm really looking forward to these Trent Horn debates. That's going to be interesting. Now, the David Wood debate, I mean, look, David Wood just learned about icons literally like a month ago. So I don't think David Wood's going to do very well in these debates. But I forgot that there is a Roman Catholic dogmatic manual, very similar to Denzinger. It's the Neuner and Depew version of Catholic Christian dogma. So the reason this book is a little better than Denzinger just for overall Roman Catholics is because the Neuner and Depew version of Christian dogma has post-Vatican II teachings in it as well, you see. So if you get Denzinger, you'll notice Denzinger stops at Pius XII. That's why Tradcats love it. But the Neuner and Depew version, which is basically a different type of Denzinger, it actually has all of the papal stuff up to, I think, John Paul II, because I think this came out in 2001. So this is a very relevant, useful text if you can find it. Again, these niche Roman Catholic arguments, it really depends on which group you're talking to. Like if you're talking to a Tradcat, they're not going to accept this book. If you're talking to a Vatican II Novus Ordo Roman Catholic like Trent, like this would be very useful, right? So it really depends on the audience as to which text you're going to use. But back when I was a Tradcat, I had this text because I used it to show how you have to affirm a lot of these John Paul II teachings, right? In other words, why would they be including all of the John Paul II normative teaching if you could reject John Paul II? You see what I'm saying? So it's useful to show, like, I'm gonna be a papal minimalist. No, you can't. Why is there a gigantic Christian dogma book that includes all of John Paul II's normative teaching? Not just, it's got like all kinds of stuff about Muslims and Christians and Jews worshiping the same God, all kinds of ecumenism. It's a very useful text, and so I'm glad to have picked it up when we were at the bookstore in Dallas. I also picked up a really good Norman Geisler, and I'm not a huge fan of Norman Geisler, but kind of like William Lane Craig, every now and then these Protestants can actually put out a decent book. I think Norman Geisler is a terrible, like, he's an evidentialist, so his apologetics is very weak. But this book is pretty good. I'm a good ways into it now. It's called Answering Islam by Norman Geisler. So he's got defective theology, but he's got a pretty good grasp of Islam. And if you do want a good critique of Islam, just like William Lane Craig has a decent book here and there, his book on creation ex nihilo is really good. But of course, I'm not going to recommend anything else from either Geisler or William Lane Craig. What's up, JR? John, you want to unmute?
Hey, remember me?
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
I've been talking for 15 minutes, but you purposely had me on mute. I did a whole argument against Tristan.
That's because we're scared of you, and we knew that you were going to refute us, and so in terror, we muted you secretly.
No,
I'm not going to go through the whole thing over again.
Did you actually say a bunch of stuff?
What's that?
Did you actually say a bunch of stuff?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I was.
Did you have someone on your mind? Are you there? You're cutting out. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Hello, hello.
It's cutting out. I'm going to call back in.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. All right. Who disagrees? You go to the head of the line. We're looking for disagreeers today. Disagreeers. Now, remember, guys, tonight I will be debating Junior, another one of the popular Dawa apologists. Now, again, I'm terrified to debate all the Muslims. I'm just super, even though I do constant Muslim debates, I'm terrified of them. And on Josie, the Redhead Libertarians channel, I'm sure you're familiar. This is the replacement debate because I didn't end up debating lunatic Owen Benjamin. So, because Owen Benjamin is a psycho blasphemer, I decided there was no point in just doing a debate where he literally is just going to blaspheme for an hour and a half. So we have decided to do a backup debate. This was Josie's idea to debate Junior. I'm sure everybody's seen Junior on X. This is going to be super low tier. We all know Junior's a goober, but it will be fun. That will be tonight on Josie's X and her Grumble, I think. So nobody tricked me. What are you talking about? Oh, and Benjamin tricked you. No, I would have had a debate or a roast session with him. But then he said, I'm not gonna actually argue. He said, I'm just gonna be, ridiculous. He said that in a tweet. So I'm like, okay, so you don't want to have a debate. Do you want to have a roast? And I was like, let's do a roast. And then he's like, now Jay Dyer doesn't want to debate. He's scared. Well, you said you didn't want to debate the topic. So what do you mean? How would I run from him when I literally said I want to do a debate? Then he says he doesn't want to debate the topic. He just wants to be silly. And I'm like, if you want to be silly, let's do a roast. And then he's like, no, you're running from the debate. And I'm like, okay, well then we'll do a debate. He's like, yeah, but I'm not actually going to debate. I'm going to just be ridiculous and retarded. Then let's do a roast. No. So I also don't understand why people don't get that everybody has red lines, right? The same reason I'm not going to debate Psycho Corey Mahler is the same reason I'm not going to debate Orthodox Muslim or Bayes Catholic. I'll bring it up in just a second. What's your profile on X? Is it Bayes Catholic? It's the same reason I'm not going to debate Corey Mahler, Orthodox Muslim, or Owen Benjamin. If people want to have debates, it's very easy. And by the way, I'm one of the most easy to debate people. It's very easy to set up a debate with me. But because these psychos somehow get a following, I don't understand how Corey Mahler even has a following. It's some sort of to me, a race-based Fed cult is that's the sense I get. I can't prove that, but that's the vibes I get. My vibes are oftentimes right. We said the same thing about Ananda, right? I said Ananda, bad news, red flags. He's probably going to go to Rome. Well, what do you know today? He announces he's becoming Roman Catholic. So I get the same weird vibes, and I've done this shit for long enough that I trust my gut. My gut's usually right about this stuff. So who's next? Where's the Roman Catholic dude at? What's your name? Based Catholic? Where you at? I don't see you on here, dude. You said you want me to bring you up, but I don't see anybody called Based Catholic. Are you Chet? Okay, we'll see if that's you. Are you Based Catholic? What's up?
Hey, I'm not the Roman Catholic.
Okay,
dude.
what's up?
No disagreement, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. Just two quick questions for you. A catechumen in the Orthodox Church. What is the Orthodox stance on limited atonement?
You can't believe in limited atonement. So just go, bro. I'm not trying to be rude, but we're not really doing catechumen questions right now. Go look up I have multiple critiques of Reformed theology, so you could look up the one I did with Kotel or the one I did with Sam Shamoon. And then we get into why you can't believe in limited atonement because of recapitulation. Christ assumed universal human nature. So that's why you can't do that. But where's the Bayes Catholic? I thought he was like super eager to come up. And then there's nobody in the chat called Bayes Catholic. How am I supposed to know who you are, dude? I'm looking for a profile that might be a Catholic, and I don't see who that would be. Does anybody disagree? You go to the head of line. People that disagree, go to the head of line. Arrow, he wants to come up and say something. He's usually got the recon on the goobers. What's up?
I'm up.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Hey, what's up? Hey, so quick thing. So, I kind of want you to debate more Muslim. Okay, so is this one Muslim? You probably know him. His name is Muslim Cowboy. He had this stupid post.
Yeah, I offered to debate him like twice. I reached out.
Oh, so you already know who he is? Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I take it he denied it, huh?
If I recall, he said he was not interested in a debate at this time. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
That's not true. He has like 3 debates where he's 5v1 and against God Logic. That guy is
Okay.
such a coward.
No, that's not true. Yeah, he said something like, I mean, I don't remember exactly how he worded it because this was like a month ago. But no, I've tweeted at that profile multiple times. By the way, Shamoon said you should debate this girl because I don't know what's going on, but have you noticed they're pushing these girl Muslim apologists, which is bizarre to me.
Because they're all coming from one person. They're coming from a guy named Malik, and they're like under him. And so now they're getting popular.
Yeah, but why girls? It's bizarre.
Because they're trying to like outreach to the men. Because you know it's a cult, so it's like it's a Muta cult. So it's basically like, hey, if you become Muslim, these are the base.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can have a hooded ninja that you never see if she's pretty or not. So
yeah, you can get you a free ninja.
You get a free ninja because I never see if she looks good or not. So I might get bait and switched, like, you know, what was it? Is it Rebecca and Leah? One of them's ugly. So you get the Laban treatment where you're gonna get the ugly daughter. But so this woman is Itachi Dawa Dialogues, and she said she would debate me on SNEAKO's channel. So
did you see Sam 1v5 her and some other guy? His name is
no,
like Matthew.
I didn't.
It was like they had a debate like a couple of years ago. He 1v5'd her and like 4 other Muslims on it and like killed all of them at the same time. Yeah,
Okay.
So she's probably going to be another junior. It's just slop. It's incest.
The same, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the Muslims are all talking smack. It's funny because all these Muslims act like I haven't debated Muslims before. They're all like, they're like new to this content, and it's like, I've been here doing this for a while, man. I'm not new to the Muslim sphere. What are you talking about? I don't like. We literally had probably, I'm not bragging, but because it was because of Fresh and Fit, we probably had the biggest Christian Muslim debate of the last 10 years. With me and Sam Shamoon versus Ijaz and Hakikachu. So that had at least 5 million views. So I don't know what these people are talking about. Like I haven't been here debating the Muslims. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you've been destroying them, but I think now it's getting to the point because you keep destroying them. They're just going, oh, well, you didn't debate this guy.
But that's what they did. That's what they've always done. They always say, oh, you didn't debate the real one. Okay, who's the real one? Oh, it's this guy. And then you debate that guy, and they go, yeah, but you didn't debate the real one.
And it's like who'd you have under your belt? You had a prominent Muslim under your belt. You had Shabir Ali. That's like, you can't, well, now they don't like him. They say he's a heretic now, but back then,
back then he was the main one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they said, you didn't debate the real one. And I was like, who's that? Oh, it's Azrar Rashid. He's a sheikh. So I debated Azrar Rashid. Oh, that's not good enough. You didn't debate the real one. Okay, who's that? That's Daniel. Daniel's the top one. Okay, so then I debate Daniel. And they're like, oh yeah, but you didn't debate the real one. Who's that? No, that's Jake now. So it just shifts to the next guy that they want to promote. Now they want to push Libiano, and I'm like, dude, I've played this game before. Like, I've seen this game for 8 years. This is what you do. And next it's gonna be, there'll be a dude after when Libiano crashes out. After he doesn't do any good, then there'll be a new guy. Oh, you haven't debated the real. Who's that? The hidden imam, the one that's hidden out there in the Shia deserts of Iran. That's the real one.
You gotta debate
no, then you got to debate Muhammad. Exactly. If you don't debate Muhammad from the dead, then you are not. You're scared. You're not debating the real Muslims. So.
Yeah, so that's all I wanted to ask about. So Muslim Cowboy, he's lying. He has like 3 debates of him teaming up.
Yeah,
with
he
Cowboy.
said, yeah, I'm pretty sure because it was a random tweet maybe a month ago. So I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but he did not want to debate. In fact, I can check my DMs to see what exactly I said to him. But I appreciate that. All right, we're going to have to hurry up through these calls because I'm going to have to go. We got some we're doing another recording with the Russian Pajot tomorrow, so I have to go to Nashville to prepare for that. We're on the 6th episode of our podcast series. It's a full production series in Nashville, filming in Nashville, about Orthodoxy, America, Russia, and civilization. So we've gotten 5 episodes in. We did a whole episode on Freemasonry. We did a whole episode on the Enlightenment, classical liberalism. We're going to do an episode on British Empire and Zionism. We're going to do an episode on just basically politics is fake and gay. So last call for today. Who disagrees? You go ahead of the line. If you're a Muslim, you disagree. Then I have to read all these super chats. We got a bunch. Last call goes to a person who disagrees. Raise your hand. You go ahead of the line. Who disagrees? I know out of 17 people, somebody disagrees. Who disagrees? Give me an emoji if you disagree. You go ahead of the line. Here's Bayes Catholic. Here he is. Bayes Catholic, what's up? Bayes Catholic, you want to unmute? You've been waiting this whole time, dude. Yeah, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, sorry. I was hoping to maybe have a conversation about the filioque with you if you're interested.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously I'm a Thomist because the whole Catholic thing. And I take the stance of Gary Lagrange. Obviously, I believe you can't distinguish the persons without the filioque, Son and Spirit. But I wanted to take a slightly different approach.
Well, did the Cappadocian? Can you tell me how the Cappadocians distinguish the persons?
Yeah, well, we have some that talk about relative opposition. We can get into
that.
That's not my main argument.
That's not what I argued. Relations of opposition is not relative opposition. They're 2 different things.
Yeah, and again, we can get into that maybe later if you want, but right now I just wanted to run an argument by you and hear your thoughts.
Can I ask you before you run your argument, do you agree with Aquinas in Summa Contra Gentiles that he seems to speak as if the essence also generates and spirates?
Yeah, no, I agree that the essence is the principle by which I would say it's the principium quo remotum, but I wouldn't say that the essence is the principium quod as in the Father and the Son.
Okay. How about, let's just talk about the theophanies because that's more relevant. Do you think that theophanies are creatures?
Well, I just want to run my argument by you real quick.
Well, are the theophanies creatures though? Because this is the kill shot for Thomism.
Yeah, well, I'm not too well versed in that. I just wanted to run an argument. It's similar. It's a pretty basic Thomistic argument. It's not really like. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it. Really, we don't need to go back and forth.
So you don't want to talk about the actual kill shot for Thomism? Because I think it's a disservice to give the impression that you guys actually have this high tiered way to account for this and that. When your whole position falls apart if you don't believe that God can be in space and time.
Yeah, and again, we could totally debate theophanies. I could come on a different live, but I just had a specific argument I was hoping to ask you about. And if you want to say, hey, that's a stupid argument, that's totally cool. I just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
I'll tell you what, I'll answer your question. I will answer your question that you run when you answer, if you answer some of mine as well.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Go ahead.
We can totally do that.
Okay.
So are the theophanies creatures?
Is this your filioque argument?
Oh, you want me to run my by?
Yeah, you can go ahead first. You can go ahead first.
Yeah. Okay, so we would say that the Father, obviously being the monarch of the Trinity, he is the first person, and then there's the Son who is the second person, and
right.
The Spirit is the third person. This is obviously, as we both agree, according to order of nature, not some weird temporal Arian crap. But then we would say that the principium quo remotum, in which the Son is begotten, would be the divine essence itself. And we know that because what is being communicated.
Okay, do you actually know Latin? Do you actually know Latin?
I wouldn't say I'm
Are you fluent in Latin? Okay, so why are you trying to quote a bunch of Latin as if you know Latin? It just comes off as pretentious and fake.
Yeah, not trying to be pretentious. That's just the typical terms that are used. I can say it in English.
No, it's the typical terms that are used for people that know Latin, and you don't know Latin, so you're doing it to give the impression that you're a scholar. Do you have a language degree?
No, I wasn't going to be a scholar. Right. It's just that's just how I've heard it referenced. The people I've talked to, they reference it that way. I can speak all in English if you would like.
Go ahead and make your argument.
Yeah. Do you want me to do you
just make the argument
anymore? Okay. Yeah. So the principium quo remotum, which would be the divine essence, is we know that it's the divine essence because that's what's being communicated to the Son. The Father is not communicating paternity, but rather he's communicating divinity to the Son.
And he's also generating the hypostasis of the Son too, right?
Sure. But when he begets the Son, what is being communicated is the divine essence. And at this time, obviously using temporal language to describe the Trinity, because that's the best way to do it, the Spirit is not being spirated yet, according to the order of nature. And so that would mean that in the divine essence, in the divine nature, the principium quo remotum, we still have spiration. And so if we're to say that the Son does not receive spiration when the divine essence is communicated to him, he's not receiving the fullness of what is in the divine nature. And so that would mean that he is in some
okay. So does does the Holy Spirit receive spiration as well because he has the fullness of divine nature?
Yeah, so that's where the distinction between principium quo remotum and principium quo proximum, or for people who don't speak Latin.
Where is that? Is okay? Who made this distinction before Thomas Aquinas or the Latin Church? Where is that in the Cappadocians?
Well, again,
does it exist? Does it exist? Okay.
It's just a logical distinction.
No, it's a distinction. No, it's a distinction invented to protect and defend your model. So I'm asking if it existed prior to the Middle Ages.
Yeah, I don't think I could give you a specific.
So you don't know?
Well, yeah, I would say sure. I don't know. I'm willing to admit that, but you have to let me at least explain the distinction first before you just say, hey, we can't.
No, you're coming up with a distinction to where it gives the impression that for the Son to have full divinity, it requires that he has the ability to spirate. And now when I say, okay, well then does the Holy Spirit also generate and spirate? Your answer is, well, you see there's this distinction.
Well, no, it's the same reason that the Son doesn't beget another Son. That's the only distinction that I was going to make, is because the principium quo proximum terminates within the person of the Son.
Okay,
right?
says who? Where does that come from?
What do you mean, where does it come from?
You just asserted that. Where do you get that from?
Because the Son doesn't beget more sons. You would agree with that.
Why not? You're just asserting the position. I'm saying, why couldn't he? Why am I supposed to assume that dogmatic assertion is true? This is what Thomists do. You guys just assert shit.
No,
why are you laughing?
You would agree. Yeah, because
it doesn't matter whether I agree. It doesn't matter. I'm asking your position.
This is how we logically conclude.
Why should I accept that that's the logical conclusion without you just asserting it?
Because we're both Trinitarian.
It doesn't matter what my position is. That's a fallacy. My position has nothing to. It's irrelevant to what you're arguing. Why are you talking about my position when you're arguing your Thomist position? So what if my position agrees or disagrees? It's irrelevant to the argument you're making.
So let me just clarify. You want me to?
How does it terminate, and why? Why am I supposed to accept that assertion? That's what I'm saying. You Thomist.
Because it's the object of the divine action that's being completed.
Okay, so more Thomism. Why am I supposed to accept the Thomism? Why am I supposed to accept the? Why am I? You're not giving me the reason why you're asserting the position again. Why am I supposed to accept that this Thomist model is the right model for answering this question?
Yeah, so I was about to explain that, and would you let me just finish the point?
You have to answer the question and not give me the assertion again. No, you're not. Again, you guys don't understand epistemology. You think that just asserting positions is giving me the reason why I ought to accept the Thomist dogma. Why?
Well, no, obviously we have the same epistemology. So
we don't. What are you talking about? We do absolutely do not.
We have the fathers in the church. We can borrow.
No, I do not. I've spent 10 years arguing against your epistemology. We do not have the same epistemology. You have a classical foundationalist model of epistemology. I do not. That's why I debated Trent Horn against natural theology. I reject your whole system and paradigm.
Okay. How about you let me say the point that I'm trying to make, and then you can tell me afterwards.
No, because you can keep yapping and filibustering and not answering the question. I'm asking you an epistemic question. Why should I accept the Thomistic account of that question when I don't accept Thomism? And you said, well, you have the same type of position, the same epistemology. No, I don't. So those are not acceptable answers.
Again,
Can you answer the question why I ought to accept the Thomistic metaphysical dogmas that you push?
We can
Why?
Thomism if you want. I'm just trying to
Why?
explain the position.
Okay. No, you're not. You were not. No, you were answering my objection by just stating the Thomist position. So now it shifts into an epistemic question of why ought I accept the Thomist position and model?
Okay,
let's do that. Let's do that because that's where it goes.
Let me extend an olive branch. We can use just Cappadocian fathers, okay? Or we can
I don't think you have the right interpretation of the Cappadocians. Let's go to the. So the debate has shifted to the Cappadocian. So I don't believe you interpret them correctly. I believe in paradigms.
I haven't given you my interpretation.
You don't understand. You didn't give any interpretation of the Cappadocians. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so then why are you saying I don't interpret them correctly if I haven't given you an interpretation?
Because you're an evidentialist, and I'm not going to give you evidential lines of argumentation when I'm asking you a paradigm level question.
So let me just clarify. I'm not allowed to use natural logic, and I'm not allowed.
I don't accept those positions. Why would you? Well, I'm not a natural theology proponent or a classical foundationalist.
But I'm not allowed to talk about fathers either because you don't accept
You
my
can.
interpretation?
You don't understand the allowance. I don't care what you can refer to all the things you want to. I'm just going to keep calling it out as to why it's a non sequitur, and I don't accept that as an argument.
So you don't accept the early church fathers that we both.
I don't accept your interpretation. I don't believe that they're theory neutral.
I haven't given you an interpretation yet. How do you know you disagree with it?
I don't accept the Thomist reading of the Cappadocians because I've dealt with it before. So the question then goes to the question moves to a paradigm level question of epistemology and models. So why am I supposed to accept your model of theory neutral epistemology, classical foundationalism?
Okay, Jay, pretend I never told you I'm a Thomist. Let's just have a conversation.
I debate paradigms. Do you not understand this? And no, you don't, because you're a Thomist. Do you understand you can't and don't debate paradigms?
Yeah, Jay, I'm not.
Stop saying my name. I am moving the debate to that because it gets to that because I don't accept your interpretation of the Cappadocians.
So you couldn't refute my points now. You literally said you're moving.
Do you understand when it comes to a question about this is the exact same debate I had with Arrow 4 years ago, or not Arrow, whatever the Thomist guy's name. It's the exact same debate where you want me to accept a bunch of metaphysical givens and assertions in the Thomistic scheme, and I don't because I have a different paradigm. So the debate moves to the epistemic level.
Well, okay, I agree that if you want to move it to the epistemic level, that's something.
No, the debate moves there. It's not me wanting to, because I'm telling you, I have totally different paradigm for how I read the Cappadocians, and I don't accept your self-evident Thomistic Aristotelian metaphysics. And you can't prove those things.
Jay, let me ask you.
Why do you keep repeating my name?
I didn't. I just asked you.
No, you keep repeating my name, Jay.
I apologize. Sir Dyer, do you accept the fathers that we both venerate?
Are you this stupid, really? Are you serious? Are you guys? It's like a cult. It's like talking to people in a cult. The question isn't, do we have the same church fathers? The question is, we read them from different paradigms. Do you think that they're self-evident truths, self-evident, self-interpreting texts?
No, not always. I think that there are some that are obviously very clear, but I'm just asking.
Okay, this is a question though.
Epistemic absurdity.
It's not epistemic absurdity. Okay. So if it's epistemic absurdity, you should be able to easily refute my challenges.
No, because everyone can be broken down to epistemic absurdity. That's this sophistry that you're trying to impose.
It's not sophistry, but no.
We both agree
okay.
on the fathers. You won't even
simple. No, we don't agree on the fathers. That's what I'm telling you. We do not agree on the fathers. We agree on who they are, not how to read them.
Okay, you can tell me that I'm reading them wrong, but you have to let me read you a quote first.
It doesn't matter because I don't accept your reading of them. It literally doesn't matter. I'm not a Thomist, and I'm not going to read the Cappadocians in a Thomist lens like you guys do.
So you're not going to give me an interpretation, or you're just going to say,
I'm going to say very simply that you believe that there's nothing in the intellect that's not first in the senses, because that's the peripatetic axiom. And I'm going to just ask you to explain to me why I'm supposed to accept that when the peripatetic axiom itself is not in the sense data, because that's the beginning point of your whole system.
Jay, didn't mean to say your name. Didn't mean to say your name. You can run back to, saying, "Oh, I just don't accept your epistemology, therefore your points."
No, you don't understand paradigms. I've spent 20 years. Now, I know how debate works. You don't know how debate works.
Congratulations. I mean, that's awesome that you spent 20 years doing this, but I want you to actually address any of the points that I'm bringing forth.
My challenges to you are at a paradigm level. So you're operating just like an atheist who wants to debate things that are not at the paradigm level. So you can keep yapping about how you read the Cappadocians. Why is that funny?
Because, Jay, you haven't answered any of my points. You interrupted.
Because my challenge is not at the level that you're arguing. It's at a presuppositional level.
Jay, when I came up here, you agreed to have a conversation about the filioque.
And then it turned into a paradigm level interpretive debate.
It didn't turn into that.
It did, because that's the questions. That's the questions I'm asking you. So you can either address those or just ignore them.
Okay. So, Jay.
I agree. I did it again. No, you're actually just doing it because you think it's funny. It's not bothering me. It just makes you look like you're silly, like just saying my name. It's weird. It's like neuro-linguistic programming or whatever.
Maybe I'm just a little nervous. I don't know, man.
Sure. I'll bet you are. So again, you understand that my approach is paradigm apologetics. That's my whole thing. That's what I do. Now, you can address that type of stuff or not. I don't care what you do, because I left your system a long time ago because it's retarded and thinking gay. So you can either address my line of argumentation, or you can just keep yapping at something that's irrelevant to what I'm arguing.
Okay, how about you tell me your paradigm, and I will argue from that.
Yeah, so I don't accept the peripatetic axiom.
Okay.
So that's Thomism 101. Now tell me why I'm supposed to accept it.
Well, no, I don't have to prove.
Do you know what the peripatetic? Do you know what it is?
Is it basically like nothing in the intellect is not first in the senses?
Yeah, so that's the beginning point of your whole system in terms of epistemology, in terms of how you know things, how you reason about the world. So tell me, make sense of that. If the peripatetic axiom itself is not in sense data, then it's self-refuting.
Yeah, okay, sure. It's self-refuting. Thomism is wrong, but can we talk about the filioque?
No, because that's your paradigm from which you read the Cappadocians, you goober. So you admit so you just admitted that so you admit your paradigm is wrong?
Yeah, sure. Tossed it out.
Okay, well then Thomism's false. Then why would I argue with somebody who you just admitted your paradigm's not wrong? Why would I argue with you if your paradigm's wrong?
I've adopted the J. Dyer paradigm. I'll argue from whatever standpoint you want, from whatever paradigm you want. I just want to have a conversation about the filioque.
Filioque. I don't accept arguments about let's say if I was debating, let me explain why I don't do this. The reason I don't do this is because if I'm debating an atheist and they throw a bunch of quote facts at me and a bunch of quote data at me and their interpretation of this or that fact, it's an unfruitful debate and exercise, because the real point of contention is not the interpretation of this or that text or this or that data. Just like it's not a question of interpreting this or that church father. It doesn't really is irrelevant if we have completely different paradigms from the starting point. And the fact that we have common church fathers has nothing to do with whether we have the same paradigms, right? Because I read them from a totally different vantage point than a Thomist lens, just like Dionysius. Orthodox read Dionysius from a very different lens than the Thomistic lens of reading Dionysius. So why am I you can't solve this debate by just citing Dionysius. When I debated Eric Ibarra, I made the same point. We have two totally different paradigms. And Eric says, why don't you just let me stack up all the papal quotes? Because I have a paradigm level argument. And if I have one contradiction, that negates all of your papal quote mines. They're all canceled out. That's the strength of a kill shot paradigm level argument. That's what I do. So you can either address that or we can just keep talking past each other.
So Jay, just to clarify, I can't quote the fathers on the filioque because...
Good God. Have you ever heard me debate an atheist? You're literally arguing the way an atheist does. So you won't listen to the science facts. You won't listen to the science facts. You don't believe the science. It's the same argument.
Well, I understand that you want to take this down to the paradigm level. I understand.
Because in the discussion, it already got to that. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm already saying, for the sake of this conversation, I am granting your exact worldview. Whatever you want it to be, I will grant that.
Well,
Obviously, I still hold
if you
it to
grant my worldview, then why would I accept a debate with a worldview that you admit doesn't work?
I'm not, again.
Is your worldview built on foundations? I mean, does it have the foundation of being built on the peripatetic axiom? If you can't give me, if you can't justify your first, if
I already told you for the sake of the conversation.
if you can't grant first, well, so you can't defend your first principles.
Again, I already said.
Can you well, so why would you grant that? Why would you grant that if you're, dude, are you stupid? Why would you grant that if your argument is built on that?
I never said it was built on that.
Of all of your system is built on your first principles.
I literally told you I was willing to argue from the fathers alone, not using any Thomistic idea.
There's no such, that doesn't exist, you idiot. That doesn't exist. You have a paradigm like I have a paradigm. There is no arguing as if the church fathers are theory neutral. I'm arguing they're theory laden.
Yeah, okay, and obviously I can take.
Do you understand what that means? Do you understand? I'm not making an internal critique.
Agree with you.
Do you think that?
I'm saying that I am, Jay, that I'm willing to take on your worldview to show you through internal critique that the fathers that you think affirm your theology actually disagree with you. That's
No, they
what we
don't.
could do here if
Well, then why aren't you debating Dr. Bo Branson, who has an entire dissertation on this? Why don't you go debate him?
Because he doesn't have an open debate call.
Sure, he does. He's debated
right now.
Well, not right now, no, but he's debated multiple people.
Okay. So your answer is just go debate someone else because I don't want to talk about the fathers?
No, you don't want to address the fundamental conflict between our system and Thomism. And you just admitted that you don't have to justify your first principles. Why should I accept your Thomist interpretation if you can't address your first principles?
Jay, you keep on bringing up Thomism. I'm telling you that.
You said you were a Thomist, you idiot.
This debate. Yeah, I brought it up. I already told you multiple times. For the sake of this debate, we can throw Thomism out the window. I just want to talk about
we can't.
I want to talk about
No, we can't.
We can't talk about the fathers?
If it's a paradigm level debate, you can't just go to the church fathers. That's my point. You have the wrong paradigm and the wrong starting point.
Okay, tell me the starting point. We'll go from there. This is how
I want you to tell me why I'm supposed to accept your first principle, which is the peripatetic axiom. Prove that to me.
I already told you for the sake
So
of
you can't. So you can't prove. Are you admitting you can't prove your first principles? I don't want you to do it for the sake of argument. Are you just admitting that you can't prove your first principles?
For the sake of this
conversation,
no. I'm an idiot. I don't understand the first
All right,
principles.
this is a waste of time. So he's not going to do it. So he won't admit that there isn't an argument for first principles because I'm not going to concede that the church fathers are theory neutral. To go down that line of argumentation would assume that, well, you just read the church fathers. It's just like a Protestant. You just read the clear text of scripture. You just read the clear writings of the church fathers. That's why he's now having to discard his Thomistic position because they can't justify their first principles. And their first principles are what the rest of the Thomistic system hangs on. It's literally called foundationalism because it's stacked up. If I pull out the foundation, all the rest of this stuff falls apart. And I told him a million times, I don't believe and I don't accept your Thomistic reading of the Cappadocians. Nor does Dr. Branson. That's what his thesis is partly about. So you're saying that was Jesus and whatnot? Are you guys joking or being serious?
Just for the record, you guys all see how mean Jay Dyer is again. This is a great example of his meanness. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, so I don't know why why did he come under a hidden sock account when we were talking in DMs about having a conversation. So again,
it's a really weird thing of that. They're like, oh yeah, I believe everything you believe. Just grant everything. Just let me do this one thing. Just come on, let me do it.
Yeah, and you notice this is a common thing that young guys do, where they pretend that they have these linguistic skills. Exact same thing that Ananda did, right? Oh, I'm a linguistic translator. Oh, really? What languages do you have degrees in? Oh, I don't have a degree in anything. Oh, how are you a linguistic translator? AI. So
Lingo translator.
You'll notice, by the way, I also asked Pine Suck to debate, and he turned down too. He says, I can't debate epistemology. I find someone else. So, and I've been asking Pine Suck to do that debate for 10 years because when he called in, we had the exact same exchange. So me and Pine Sap had the exact same exchange as that guy. So good. I'm glad he got his little clip because he doesn't understand how to debate, right? Nanda just apostatized. What are you talking about? What's wrong with the Nanda? I'm going to read these super chats really quick because I have to go. I got stuff to do today. Thank you for your lectures and live streams, Marvin says. Thank you. Iron Giant says for $10. Have you heard of electronic music maker Mort Garson? No. He pioneered stuff in the 70s. He also got into esoteric occult stuff. No, I'm not familiar with him. John, did you want to say something while I read the super chats? Old Fox, $5. My wife says she needs time and space. Is she calculating velocity? Yes. She is. She's going to crash into you. She's calculating the velocity to crash into you. Greenie says for $30. I've been telling my uncle, he's been a Labor Party voter his whole life, about the Milner-Fabian information. He hears what I say, but he won't accept it. Well, that's the thing. People are locked into their paradigms, and that's why you have to argue for Thomism, Catholicism, or what atheism. You have to argue at the paradigm level. This is what I do. This is what we've been arguing for decades, right? So, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's an interesting thing because the Labor Party itself
was
the Fabian Socialist Party.
Exactly. It's just renamed. Exactly. So basically he's saying, grant me my position, or I'll grant your position, and now just go back to reading the church fathers as if you didn't make your argument at about paradigms. So if I don't,
let's all play make believe right now, okay? Let's pretend that I believe everything you believe, and let me just do this one little argument. Let me see what happens. Come on.
So Thomism is an empirical theology, meaning that it's based on sense data, including reasoning about God, always comes from sense data. There's also reasoning about God that's from logic and reasoning, but you begin with your sense data. Hence, the peripatetic axiom that Aquinas supports explicitly many times over is there's nothing in the intellect that is not first in sense data. There's a problem with this empiricist type of approach. I'm not saying that he is a Humean empiricist. I'm saying it's an empirical approach, like later empiricists. The problem is that the peripatetic axiom itself is not in sense data. So this is an arbitrary starting point and a self-evident, just give me just so type of position. Now, in all of modern philosophy, from Descartes and Hume and Kant onwards, the shift happens to where people call this into question. People just don't accept the metaphysical given position anymore, unless you're a classical foundationalist, right? So I'm going to always have this same approach, not because I don't want to debate the Filioque or I don't want to talk about the Cappadocians. It's because I'm not going to be interpreting them from the same way that you interpret. You believe in theory-neutral evidences, theory-neutral, quote, brute facts. I don't believe there are any theory-neutral brute facts. So I'm not going to grant you that you can just go and read the Cappadocians. And that's how we solve it. Just like I'm not going to grant to Eric Ibarra, oh, I just read the papal quotes and the church father quotes and that proves papism. It doesn't work like that. I have a different paradigm. And if your paradigm has a foundation that's faulty, all I have to do is pull that out and the whole thing falls. And so he admits, I don't know, I can't really defend that. So let's just say I can't defend it. Okay, good. Then there's nothing else to debate and Thomism falls. He doesn't even realize, because he's a young guy, he's like 20. He doesn't know that there's a giant, vast academic scholarly history debating how to read Dionysius or the Cappadocians. Do you read them, or even Maximus? Do you read them from the Orthodox paradigm, or do you read them from a Thomistic lens? For example, Hans Urs von Balthasar. He reads Maximus the Confessor through a Thomistic lens to try to make it mesh with Thomism. Just like Eastern Catholics, they will try to mesh Thomas Aquinas and Gregory Palamas at times. Right, some of the more ecumenist-minded ones. Other ones admit you can't do it. Even Christian Koppes, their top Uniate scholar, theologian, admits you can't mesh these two. There's no way to mesh essence energy between Palamas and Aquinas. But what I'm saying is that you can't just go to the Cappadocians on this question when I immediately start asking him Notice the Thomists all do the same thing. It's the same with Tim Gordon. They'll just start asserting all of these metaphysical givens. Well, clearly in the Trinity, the metaphysics of the termination of the blah, blah, blah. And it's like, why am I supposed to accept that model and that line of reasoning as a necessary implication? How do we know that that's the case? Because remember, this is actually based on divine revelation, right? Trinitarian theology has an element of reasoning, but it's not ultimately a rational position. In Thomism, it's actually based on divine revelation, which is that's grace building on nature. Reasoning is nature, grace builds on that. And in their scheme, it's totally different as a paradigm. I don't think that. As Staniloy says in chapter 1, I don't believe that there is natural theology. There's natural revelation, but we don't grant the Thomistic scheme. So he's just going to keep reading the church fathers, and the just like an atheist is going to read the evidence and the data from his atheist paradigm. This is why, for example, you can't argue the apostles were very bold after the resurrection, so therefore Christianity is true, right? Every atheist is going to say you're interpreting their boldness from your assumptions that somehow proves the resurrection. It's a non sequitur. You see what I'm saying? Like, the interpretation of the evidence is conditioned by the paradigm. So to continue to have that debate at throwing patristic quotes back and forth or papal quotes back and forth is ignoring the actual point of contention, which is rival paradigms. That's why I always bring it back to that, because it's a fruitless, futile debate. It's just going to be throwing quotes back and forth. But he doesn't get that because he's adopted Thomism. And he's only like 20. He's just citing Latin like he knows Latin to sound smart, which is all fraudulent, because he admitted, at least he was honest, right? He could have lied. Yes, I've studied Latin and speak it fluently. So I know he was tempted to say that, but at least he was honest that he didn't know it. It's like, well, then why are you trying to talk in Latin like you're trying to sound smart? Like, imagine me just citing Greek terms all day, like, this is the dikaiosune, this is not the theological, right? Now, you can say those terms. I'm not saying you can't say that, but to come in here with this scholastic gibberish to try to sound smart, it just doesn't, to me, it sounds pretentious, especially if you don't define the terms, if you just try to machine gun it out. And if this is not true, if the peripatetic axiom is not true, then Thomism isn't true. And if Thomism isn't true, why am I going to accept a Thomist paradigm reading of the Cappadocians or the Bible? Does that not logically follow? Like, why would I accept the paradigm which informs how you read these texts if you can't explain to me why I accept the paradigm? So him conceding the paradigm is retarded. Well, then the Thomistic paradigm's false if you're conceding that. This is so silly. Like, that's the actual sophistry here. What?
I got a question, Jay. You said you're debating some Muslim later. Where is that again?
So Josie, the redhead libertarian, she's the Timcast redhead girl. She has, I think, 1 million subscribers on X. So I will be debating Junior on her space / her Grumble channel.
Are they going to take like other questions and stuff, or just be you and Junior and her?
I don't know how she'll do it. I think last time when we had evangelical Zionists calling in, I think she took questions.
Oh, cool. What time is that
at? 9 Central.
Thanks.
Yes, that will be fun. Of course, Junior is no good. He's low tier, so.
Wait, am I going to have to choose between listening to that and Tristan's live stream?
I had to change it for Sunday, and actually, I blackmailed Jay into joining me on Sunday.
Never mind. Never mind. I'm not going to listen now.
That'll be Sunday.
So this is Josie's channel here, the redhead libertarian. I'm sure her Grumble is something similar to that, if you want to watch it there. And I'll give you guys the link here. So she will be moderating me, and she usually does it for an hour and a half. I I think last time we had some people calling in, so I don't know if she'll have call-ins or not. But this is actually the backup Beartard debate, since that one didn't happen. So there's that. But the other thing about the Filioque is that, like, when you give Thomism, it's just like when you're debating Muslims about metaphysics. This is giving it way too much. Like, it's all a bunch of confusing, like 99% of the audience doesn't even know what you're talking about when you start throwing around these stupid Latin terms. So there's really no point, just like with Muslims, in engaging in these like metaphysics, high tier stuff, because 99% of Muslims, 99.9, can't do metaphysics. They have no idea what you're talking about. It's much more effective to just talk about, well, dude married a 9-year-old. That converts way more people than all this highfalutin gibberish.
Just for the sake of the audience, I just want to say that Tristan and myself, all we do all day is harass Jay and make fun of him. And he never gets mad. So he definitely has a high tolerance for ribbing.
Well, you guys are my friends, so I don't like, but I get, I get called names every day.
We've had bot armies attack him. We've doxed him and his family.
All right, hey guys, I'm not. Yeah, hey, I gotta hurry because I gotta go. I've gotta go meet Pavel, the Russian Pajot. So I can't. I'd love to stay in chat. Thank you guys so much. We'll have another call in very soon, but I got to get through these and I got to leave. So Mohawk says, I'm a Jewish convert to Christianity. Awesome. Matt Monkey, $20. Jay, what do you think about IP versus Captain Crack Rock? I have not seen that debate. I mean, I feel like probably IP would win that. I mean, Captain Crack Rock is very low tier. There's more and more red pill Judaizers that are thriving on sola scriptura. JML, $15. What do you think of TPUSA Protestant pastor quote mines about Christian orthodoxy? I don't know what that is. I mean, obviously, I don't agree with any Protestant TPUSA pastor or any Protestant pastor, period. So I'm sure I disagree, but I don't know what that is. Pondering Metaphysics, $7. People who use the divorce argument don't understand binding and loosing. Yeah, it's about and they read the service for a second marriage because it's obvious that it's not considered ideal. Yeah, they're not honest about the Roman Catholic flexibility themselves. They have fun, $5. It cannot be enforced by catechesis, but it should be enforced amongst laymen. It is inherently cringe to be a online debater catechumen right away. Yeah, there needs to be policies on that for sure. Steven, $5. The new show, The Shards, has a satanic SRA killer in LA. That sounds interesting. There's a cult called the Riders of Afterlife. Okay, a new show called Shards. Mate, $5. Jay, I'm a catechumen in England. I've been received to the Greek church. I'll be baptized. I'm worried about the EP. Should I move? I mean, move if you detect ecumenism in your church. Cristo, $50. I'm in Brazil. There's our neo-Pentecostal drug cartels. They wear Israeli patches. They're expelled from Roman Catholics communities. Wait, they're expelling Roman Catholics. They are dangerous, radical evangelicals. Yeah, exactly. We need to ask Tristan about that. Cave and Roos, $5. The Ortho Bros pray the Akathist, St. George. We should own that and stress that worship is also intercession. Yeah, worship is Eucharistic liturgy, intercession of the saints, all that. Have you seen the Nick Matau debate? I'm not. He destroyed SNEAKO, Korah, and Orthodox Muslim. Nick Matau, I'll have to look him up. Is that Fearless Nick? I don't know who Nick Matau is. Brett, $10. Give me this, give me that. Trial by fire, trial by fire. Phantasm, $20. Debate Quandis. She ain't gonna debate me, dude. She's only gonna debate when there's hundreds of thousands of dollars, or I don't even think she'll ever debate Andrew. Chatnik, $10. Jay converted me to Cobra Church. If you have $130 to spare, watch the trailer for the game War Fantasy. Welcome to the new members. Iron Giant, $10. Did you ever hear of electronic music? No, we did that. Green from Oz. No, we did that. Jay, come to St. Michael's in Louisville. Okay. Nicholas, $50. Do you think something like Filioque leads to separation from God? Yeah, if you're knowingly affirming heterodox anti-Trinitarian positions, then yeah. I mean, the Thomistic model is like it collapses nature into person. That's heresy 101 according to St. John of Damascus. Matt Dillon Monkey, $20. What do you think about IP? No, we did that. Matt Dillon Monkey, $5. Danny McBride makes fun of evangelicals, righteous gemstone. He's totally doing that for Israel. Oh yeah, so if Danny McBride makes fun of evangelicalism, then he's a Muslim, exactly. Matt Dillon Monkey, $5. Andre Atunes metal video mocking demonic prosperity pastors Paula White is from Islam. Yeah, exactly. If you make fun of evangelicals, you're working with Islam. Prots and Muslims are the same. No true emperor fallacy. Exactly. Fundamental Jiu-Jitsu, $5. Why do women seem to be standoffish towards Orthodox? Could be because it's fundamentally patriarchal. I don't know. Most of my husband's friends are interested, but their wives shut it down. I mean, women don't make typically the same decisions about churches and all this for the same reasons that men do. Men approach the question typically logically, historically, objectively first. And women usually make these decisions based on how they feel. Remember, head on over to chalk.com, choq.com, best beside limitation on the internet. Everybody, have a good night. I will see you soon. And use promo code J60Life at chalk.com, choq.com. The link is in the show description. You can also